If you could make one simple change that would completely transform your energy, your skin, your mood, and even your sleep, would you do it? I'm talking about something that costs you nothing, takes no supplements, no pills, no gimmicks, just no sugar for 14 days. Most people think it's impossible, but the real question is, what if it's the best thing you ever do for your body? Let's break this down scientifically, step by step, and I'll show you exactly what happens inside your body when you cut out sugar for just 2 weeks. When you decide to quit sugar, even for just 14 days. The first and most profound change happens inside your bloodstream. Most people underestimate how much sugar affects nearly every system in the body. It's not just about sweets or desserts. Sugar hides in bread, sauces, cereals, snacks, and even so-called healthy foods labeled as low-fat. The truth is, most of us are living on a blood sugar roller coaster without realizing it. Here's what that means. Every time you eat sugar or refined carbohydrates like white bread or pasta, your blood glucose levels rise. Your body senses that spike and quickly releases a hormone called insulin, produced by the pancreas. Insulin's job is to take that glucose, the sugar in your blood, and move it into your cells so it can be used for energy. Sounds simple, right? But here's the problem: we do this too often and too much. When your diet is filled with sugar or frequent snacks, insulin is constantly being released. Over time, your cells start ignoring it. This is called insulin resistance. One of the earliest signs that your metabolism is struggling. And when your cells resist insulin, your body compensates by producing even more insulin. The result: you feel tired after eating, you crave sweets even more, and your body starts storing fat, especially around the belly. Now, here's where things get interesting. The moment you stop eating sugar, your insulin levels begin to drop. It doesn't happen overnight, but within the first few days, your pancreas gets a break. Your liver, which has been overloaded by processing excess sugar, finally starts to relax. And as insulin levels come down, your body begins to regain insulin sensitivity. That's when you start noticing something powerful. Your energy becomes stable. Instead of those highs and lows throughout the day, where you feel great after breakfast but crash by 3 p.m., your body starts maintaining steady blood sugar. Why does that matter so much? Because stable blood sugar equals stable energy, stable mood, and stable hormones. Let me explain each. When your blood sugar is balanced, your body doesn't constantly crave quick energy fixes. You no longer find yourself reaching for coffee, cookies, or snacks just to stay awake. Your brain receives a consistent supply of fuel, so you feel focused and alert throughout the day. That's why so many people report clearer thinking and fewer mood swings after quitting sugar. It's literally the brain being fed evenly instead of being flooded and starved over and over again. Physiologically, something else happens too. When insulin drops, your body switches from sugar burning to fat burning. Most people think they're burning fat all day, but that's rarely true. When insulin is high, your body is locked in fat storage mode. But once you lower sugar and insulin stabilizes, you unlock the ability to use stored fat for energy. This is the beginning of what I call metabolic freedom. Your body finally learns how to tap into its own fuel reserves efficiently. Now, let's talk about what you might feel during these first few days. Some people experience cravings, irritability, or a dip in energy. That's normal. Your body is recalibrating. It's been depending on sugar as a fast, easy fuel source, and now it's being asked to adapt. Think of it like switching your car from regular gas to a cleaner, more efficient fuel. The system needs time to adjust. But once it does, the benefits compound quickly. By day 5 or 6, most people begin to feel an unmistakable steadiness. They wake up with energy, and that energy lasts. Their appetite becomes more predictable. They stop needing that mid-afternoon snack. It's not willpower, it's chemistry. Let's also touch on another important aspect: your liver health. When you consume sugar, especially fructose found in soda, desserts, and fruit juices, it doesn't raise blood sugar directly like glucose does, but it goes straight to your liver. There, it's converted into fat. That's how many people end up with fatty liver, even if they don't drink alcohol. Once you stop sugar, your liver finally gets a chance to offload some of that fat. Over 2 weeks, your liver function starts to improve, and that contributes to even better blood sugar control. You might even notice visible changes: less bloating, more energy after meals, and a lighter feeling overall. Your digestion improves because insulin no longer interferes with other hormones like cortisol and leptin, which regulate hunger and fat storage. And here's something most people don't realize: when your blood sugar stabilizes, your sleep improves dramatically. Every time your blood sugar crashes during the night, your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone, to bring it back up. That's why many people wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. wide awake. After a week or two off sugar, cortisol starts to normalize, and your sleep becomes deeper and more restorative. Another sign of balanced blood sugar is a calm, steady mood. Sugar highs and lows mimic emotional swings. You feel euphoric when glucose spikes and anxious or fatigued when it drops. As insulin stabilizes, so do your emotions. People describe feeling more grounded, less reactive, and even less anxious. Again, not because of psychology, but because of hormonal balance. So, in just 14 days of no sugar, your body experiences a massive internal reset. Your pancreas relaxes, your liver begins to heal, your insulin becomes efficient again, your fat metabolism turns on, and your brain and energy stabilize. This is the foundation for every other benefit you'll experience later. Clearer skin, better focus, and sustainable fat loss all start here, with balanced blood sugar. In short, you can't fix your metabolism until you fix your insulin. And you can't fix your insulin until you fix your sugar intake. That's why I tell people, if you can commit to just 14 days of no sugar, you'll experience what it feels like to live in a body that's finally working for you, not against you. One of the most noticeable changes when you stop eating sugar is the way your cravings begin to vanish. And I'm not just talking about willpower. This isn't a mental game. This is biology. When you quit sugar, your brain starts to rewire, your taste buds recalibrate, and your body breaks free from a cycle that's been controlling your appetite for years. Here's the reality: sugar is addictive. When you eat it, it activates your brain's dopamine system, the same neurotransmitter involved in motivation, reward, and even other addictive behaviors. That quick surge of dopamine is what makes sugar feel irresistible. It's why after one cookie you want another, and why after a soda you can't stop at just one sip. This isn't weakness, it's chemistry. Your brain is literally rewarding you for eating something that floods it with energy. But here's the catch: over time, the brain adapts. Dopamine receptors become desensitized. That's why you need more sugar to get the same high. It's a vicious cycle. You think you're just indulging, but your body is actually craving a chemical reaction that's been hijacked by sugar. Now, when you remove sugar from your diet for 14 days, a remarkable thing happens. Those dopamine receptors start to reset. The brain no longer expects constant stimulation from sugar. Within just a few days, your body begins to calm down. That frantic, obsessive need for sweets that's been driving your eating patterns starts to fade. And the best part, you don't have to starve yourself. Your body simply stops asking for sugar. The second part of this process involves your taste buds. Yes, your taste buds. After weeks, months, or even years of sugar overload, your palate becomes dulled. Ordinary foods like vegetables or fruits taste bland because your tongue has been conditioned to expect extreme sweetness. But when you eliminate sugar, your taste buds begin to re-sensitize. Natural flavors start to come alive. A carrot tastes sweet, a tomato bursts with flavor, and a piece of fruit feels indulgent without any added sugar. This is why people often say, "I never realized how sweet natural foods can be until I quit sugar." What's happening physiologically is that your taste receptors for sweetness are no longer overstimulated. They start sending more accurate signals to your brain about flavor. Combined with your reset dopamine system, this creates a natural feedback loop. Your cravings decrease, and your enjoyment of natural foods increases. You stop thinking of vegetables as boring and start seeing them as satisfying. Let's also consider another aspect: your gut-brain connection. Sugar feeds certain types of bacteria in your gut, specifically the ones that thrive on sugar and carbs. When these bacteria dominate, they send signals to your brain that intensify cravings. Essentially, your gut microbes can manipulate your appetite. But when you remove sugar, the balance of your gut microbiome begins to shift. Friendly bacteria start to recover, inflammation decreases, and those persistent cravings start to disappear from the inside out. The first few days without sugar might be challenging. You might feel a pull toward candy, cookies, or even hidden sugars in sauces. That's normal. It's the body's way of protesting. But here's the key: this is temporary. Around day 5 to 7, most people notice a dramatic reduction in cravings. That's because your dopamine system has begun to stabilize, your taste buds are adjusting, and your gut is sending healthier signals to your brain. By the end of the 2-week period, many people report something astonishing: sugar is no longer appealing. You look at sweets, and they don't even taste as good as they used to. You're no longer controlled by cravings. This is a profound shift because it's not just about weight loss or energy. It's about freedom. For years, your body may have been enslaved by sugar, and now you experience a level of autonomy over your eating that feels almost magical. This process also affects your emotional relationship with food. Sugar often becomes a coping mechanism for stress, anxiety, or boredom. Once the cravings disappear, you begin to see food differently, as nourishment, not as a crutch. You're no longer seeking emotional highs from empty calories. Instead, you start enjoying meals for satisfaction and vitality, not just for dopamine spikes. Another interesting thing happens to your energy. When you're constantly feeding sugar cravings, your energy is unpredictable. You go from spikes to crashes, and your body is always chasing the next sugar hit. As your cravings subside, your energy stabilizes. You feel more in control, alert, and present. That means no more mid-afternoon slumps, late-night cravings, or waking up groggy because your body is still dealing with sugar. Finally, this reset is lasting. After 14 days of no sugar, you're not just temporarily free of cravings. Your brain chemistry and taste perception have shifted. You'll find it easier to maintain a low-sugar diet long-term because your body no longer demands sugar to feel satisfied. It's no longer a battle of willpower. Your biology is finally working with you. In summary, quitting sugar for just 14 days allows your brain, your taste buds, and your gut to recalibrate. You break the cycle of addiction, cravings fade, natural flavors return, and your body begins to regain control. This is not just a diet hack. It's a metabolic reset that transforms how you experience food, energy, and even your emotions. When you think about it, this is one of the most empowering effects of cutting out sugar. You stop being a slave to cravings, and you start enjoying food in its most natural, nourishing form. That is the beginning of real, lasting change. Once you've stabilized your blood sugar and your cravings have started to fade, your body is ready for one of the most powerful transformations: fat burning. And I don't just mean losing a few pounds around your waist. I mean activating your body's natural ability to tap into stored fat as energy, especially the fat that's been stubbornly sitting around your belly and organs for years. Here's the science. When you eat sugar or refined carbs, your body's insulin levels spike. Insulin is a hormone designed to store fat. Its job is to take glucose from your bloodstream and direct it either into your cells for energy or into fat for storage. That's great in a survival scenario, but for many of us, constant sugar intake means insulin is almost always elevated. High insulin prevents your body from burning fat because your system is in storage mode instead of fat burning mode. This is why many people struggle with weight loss despite eating less. It's not just calories, it's hormones. Until insulin drops, your body cannot efficiently use stored fat for energy. But when you stop sugar, insulin levels gradually normalize. After just a few days without sugar, your cells regain insulin sensitivity, which is critical for fat mobilization. Now, your body can finally start signaling to stored fat. One need energy, use what's already here. This fat, often stored in your liver, belly, and around your internal organs, becomes accessible for fuel. The beauty of this process is that your body is naturally designed to burn fat. It's a preferred fuel source once insulin is under control. But fat burning doesn't just happen for weight loss. It has profound effects on your energy and metabolism. Unlike sugar, which spikes energy and then causes a crash, fat provides a stable, long-lasting source of energy. That's why people report feeling more alert, steady, and energized once their body starts burning fat efficiently. You no longer experience the roller coaster of highs and lows tied to sugar consumption. Another critical point: your liver plays a central role in this fat-burning process. When you consume sugar, especially fructose, your liver is forced to process it into fat. This contributes to fatty liver, a condition that impairs metabolism and energy. Cutting sugar for 14 days allows your liver to recover, start mobilizing stored fat, and reduce inflammation. This is one of the reasons people notice rapid changes in belly fat and abdominal bloating once they eliminate sugar. Your body also begins to produce ketones, which are byproducts of fat metabolism. Ketones are an alternative fuel for your brain and muscles, providing steady energy without the crashes associated with sugar. This is why many people feel clearer, more focused, and even more physically capable after a week or two of no sugar. Your body is running more efficiently, using clean energy from stored fat rather than constantly relying on external sugar. The timing of these changes is important. Most people notice subtle differences within the first week: energy steadiness, slightly less bloating, and even reduced hunger. By the end of 2 weeks, fat-burning processes are more fully activated. That's why a 14-day sugar reset is so powerful. It's enough time for your body to transition from sugar dependence to fat-burning mode. What's fascinating is that not all fat is equal. Sugar tends to cause fat to accumulate around your liver and abdomen, called visceral fat. This fat is particularly harmful because it's associated with metabolic disorders, inflammation, and hormonal imbalances. By stabilizing insulin and initiating fat burning, your body specifically targets this dangerous fat first. That's why people often notice their clothes fitting better and their stomach looking flatter before they see dramatic weight loss elsewhere. Another key factor is metabolic efficiency. When insulin is chronically high due to sugar intake, your metabolism slows down. Fat-burning pathways are blocked, energy production is inefficient, and cravings persist. Once sugar is removed, insulin drops, fat becomes accessible, and your metabolism accelerates naturally. You're no longer forcing your body to burn calories in a stressful, inefficient way. You're working with its natural design. It's important to note that fat burning is not about starving yourself. In fact, eating nutrient-dense foods like vegetables, healthy fats, and moderate protein supports this process. Your body doesn't need sugar to create energy. It has abundant fuel stored in your fat cells. All you need to do is remove the interference sugar. By the end of the 14-day period, your body has effectively undergone a metabolic reset. You've lowered insulin, improved liver function, reduced inflammation, and started burning stored fat for energy. The changes are noticeable: more energy, improved mood, clearer thinking, less bloating, and often a visible reduction in belly fat. So, the takeaway is simple but powerful: removing sugar for just 14 days triggers your body's natural fat-burning mechanisms. You're not relying on extreme diets, pills, or supplements. You're letting your metabolism do what it was designed to do. Efficiently and effectively burn fat for energy while stabilizing your hormones and improving overall health. In other words, fat burning isn't just about aesthetics. It's about regaining metabolic freedom, energy, and health. When you remove sugar, you don't just lose weight. You transform the way your body fuels itself, and you create a foundation for long-term health and vitality. When people think about cutting sugar, most imagine physical changes, weight loss, fat reduction, or clearer skin. But one of the most profound benefits happens in your brain. Within just 14 days of eliminating sugar, you experience a remarkable improvement in focus, mood, and overall mental clarity. And this is not just about feeling good psychologically. It's entirely biochemical. Let's start with the basics. The brain relies on a steady supply of energy, which is usually provided by glucose, a type of sugar. In moderation, this is perfectly normal. The problem arises when your glucose levels are constantly spiking and crashing due to high sugar intake. Every time you eat sugar, your blood glucose rapidly rises. Your body responds by releasing insulin, which pushes glucose into your cells. This spike feels like a burst of energy or pleasure, but it's followed by a crash where blood sugar dips below normal levels. These repeated spikes and crashes don't just affect energy. They directly impact your mood and mental function. That crash triggers the release of cortisol, the stress hormone, which makes you anxious, irritable, or fatigued. Over time, this cycle can create chronic mood instability, difficulty concentrating, and even depression-like symptoms. Now, when you remove sugar from your diet, this cycle is disrupted. Your blood glucose levels stabilize, meaning your brain receives a consistent, steady supply of fuel. You no longer experience the highs and lows that affect your emotions. Within just a few days, most people notice reduced anxiety, improved focus, and a calmer mindset. But there's more happening behind the scenes. When sugar is eliminated, your body begins producing ketones, a type of alternative fuel derived from fat. Ketones are a cleaner, more efficient energy source for the brain. Unlike sugar, which can cause spikes and crashes, ketones provide steady, long-lasting energy. This is why people often report a sudden clarity of thought, improved memory, and sharper focus after a week or two without sugar. Your brain is literally functioning more efficiently. In addition, sugar directly affects neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers that regulate mood. Excess sugar consumption can reduce levels of serotonin and GABA, which are critical for calming the brain and promoting emotional balance. When you remove sugar, these neurotransmitters begin to stabilize. The result: a more even mood, less emotional reactivity, and a reduction in anxiety or stress-induced cravings. Another fascinating aspect is the impact on brain inflammation. High sugar intake triggers inflammation throughout the body, including the brain. This inflammation can impair cognitive function, slow reaction times, and contribute to brain fog. By eliminating sugar, inflammatory pathways calm down, and your brain starts to operate with less interference. You experience mental clarity, faster thinking, and better decision-making, all within just 2 weeks. Sleep also improves significantly when sugar is removed. Excess sugar affects cortisol levels and blood glucose overnight, leading to disrupted sleep cycles and poor quality rest. When sugar is eliminated, cortisol levels stabilize, blood sugar remains even, and your body can enter deeper, more restorative sleep cycles. This, in turn, reinforces the improvement in brain function and mood. A well-rested brain is a clear, focused, and calm brain. Many people also notice an improvement in emotional resilience. When you're no longer subject to sugar-induced highs and lows, small stresses don't feel as overwhelming. You can handle challenges more calmly and respond more rationally. It's almost as if your brain has been freed from constant interference, allowing your natural mental and emotional strengths to shine. It's important to highlight that this isn't a temporary, feeling good effect. It's a rebalancing of your brain's chemistry. The changes are rooted in the way your neurotransmitters, blood sugar, insulin, and ketones interact. After 14 days of no sugar, your brain is operating in a state that promotes sustainable focus, emotional balance, and cognitive performance. Another subtle but meaningful effect is the reduction in stress-driven eating. Sugar often acts as a coping mechanism for stress or emotional discomfort. When blood sugar crashes, your body seeks a quick fix, usually more sugar, creating a cycle of dependence. By eliminating sugar, your brain no longer relies on these spikes for temporary relief. You begin to notice that you can manage stress without turning to food, which strengthens both your mental resilience and your metabolic health. Finally, this improvement in brain and mood is one of the reasons why people feel so liberated after a sugar reset. They're not just seeing physical changes in the mirror. They're experiencing a mental transformation. They feel lighter, more focused, more stable, and more present. It's a powerful reminder that diet is not just about the body. It's about optimizing the mind. In summary, removing sugar for 14 days transforms your brain chemistry and emotional balance. Blood sugar stabilizes, ketone production increases, neurotransmitters rebalance, inflammation decreases, and stress resilience improves. You gain clarity, focus, calm, and emotional stability, all without medication supplements or extreme interventions. This is one of the most profound benefits of quitting sugar, and it's something you can feel within just 2 weeks. By the end of this period, your brain isn't just functioning better, it's thriving, and you'll likely notice a lasting change in how you think, feel, and respond to the world around you. One of the most noticeable and rewarding benefits of cutting sugar for 14 days is how your skin and overall inflammation respond. Unlike energy crashes or cravings, which you feel internally, this is something you can actually see. A visible transformation that reinforces the changes happening inside your body. Let's start with the science. Sugar causes a process called glycation. Glycation occurs when sugar molecules bind to proteins like collagen and elastin, the proteins that keep your skin firm, smooth, and youthful. When this happens, these proteins become stiff and lose their elasticity, leading to premature wrinkles, sagging, and dullness. In other words, sugar doesn't just affect your waistline, it directly ages your skin. By eliminating sugar, you stop fueling this glycation process. Within 2 weeks, your body begins to repair and restore itself. Collagen fibers are no longer under constant attack, allowing your skin to maintain its elasticity. That's why many people notice a softer, plumper appearance after just 14 days. Their skin looks hydrated, vibrant, and healthier overall. But it's not just about collagen. Sugar also triggers inflammation throughout the body. High sugar intake elevates insulin and promotes the production of inflammatory molecules called cytokines. These molecules cause subtle but chronic inflammation, which affects your joints, gut, and skin. Inflammation is a major factor in acne, eczema, psoriasis, and other skin conditions. When you remove sugar, the inflammatory signals begin to calm down. Redness, puffiness, and irritation reduce, giving your skin a clearer and more even appearance. Another major impact is on the oil glands and hormonal balance. Sugar causes insulin spikes, and insulin indirectly increases the production of androgens, hormones that stimulate oil glands. Excess oil can clog pores and contribute to acne, blackheads, and breakouts. Within 2 weeks of no sugar, insulin levels normalize, hormone production stabilizes, and your skin's oil balance begins to regulate naturally. That's why people with acne-prone skin often report fewer breakouts after just 1 or 2 weeks off sugar. There's also a significant effect on gut health, which plays a huge role in skin appearance. Sugar feeds harmful gut bacteria and yeast, which can contribute to inflammation and toxin buildup. A disrupted gut microbiome is closely linked to skin issues like eczema, rosacea, and dullness. When you eliminate sugar, beneficial bacteria flourish, digestion improves, and the skin benefits indirectly from a healthier gut-brain-skin axis. In short, your skin literally reflects the improvement happening inside your digestive system. You may also notice changes in swelling and bloating. Excess sugar causes water retention and fluid imbalance, making your face, hands, and belly appear puffy. As you remove sugar, your body releases excess water and reduces systemic inflammation, giving your skin a firmer, more sculpted appearance. Many people comment that they feel lighter and more defined after 2 weeks without sugar. And this isn't just weight loss, it's reduced inflammation and water retention. Sleep, which also improves when you cut sugar, further supports skin health. Quality sleep allows the body to repair cells, produce growth hormone, and regenerate skin tissue. When sugar is removed, sleep cycles normalize, and your skin has more time to rejuvenate overnight. This adds to the radiant, refreshed appearance you notice in just 2 weeks. Another subtle but powerful benefit is reduced sensitivity and irritation. Sugar-induced inflammation can make the skin reactive, prone to redness, or sensitive to products. After 14 days of no sugar, inflammation calms down and your skin becomes more resilient. Your natural glow returns, and your skin responds better to hydration and skincare routines. Finally, these improvements aren't just cosmetic. They're a reflection of internal healing. Reduced glycation, lower inflammation, stabilized insulin, balanced hormones, improved gut function, and better sleep all converge to improve skin health. It's a visible signal that your body is functioning better, metabolically, hormonally, and physiologically. The skin is literally the mirror of your internal health. The takeaway is clear: sugar is not just empty calories. It actively ages your skin, promotes inflammation, and disrupts hormone and gut balance. By eliminating sugar for 14 days, you give your body a chance to reverse these effects. You'll see clearer, smoother, more elastic skin. You'll feel less bloated, calmer, and more energized. And these benefits are lasting. Once you experience the difference, your body naturally resists returning to sugar-heavy habits. In summary, removing sugar is a full-body reset that manifests visibly in your skin. Glycation slows, inflammation drops, hormones stabilize, gut health improves, and hydration is restored. Within just 14 days, your skin reflects the internal improvements happening at the cellular level. This visible transformation reinforces all the other benefits: energy, fat-burning, mental clarity, and makes the journey of eliminating sugar not just manageable but deeply rewarding. So, here's the truth. You don't need to do this forever to see results. Just give your body 14 days of no sugar, and you'll see proof in your own mirror, your own energy, and your own mood. After that, it won't be about forcing yourself to avoid sugar. It'll be about not wanting to go back. You'll feel so good that your body will speak louder than your cravings ever did. So, try it. 14 days. No sugar. You won't just change your diet. You'll change your life.